God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, be with you and remain with you now and
Good hands just thank ya. You chose the forces of patty around nose. Quick name and the quick ram over.
Hi there everyone, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage. So for followers of my channel, you would know that generally speaking I show the same genres of music in each of my videos. It's predominantly classic rock, indie, psychedelia, neo-psychedelia, garage rock, or a subgenre of one of the above. Though I do have other types of music in my collection. I don't show them so much because I don't have as much of that type of stuff. I thought that I would start a thread showcasing the genres of music that hide at the darkest recesses of my collection. So what I'm going to do is show 7 albums from 7 different genres, and the final album will be an album that is difficult to classify, to kind of pin down to one particular genre. And while the albums that I'm going to show come from genres that are fairly well known, there's nothing really crazy here. There's maybe one genre that's not mainstream. However, the majority of them are well-known genres. I thought it could be an opportunity for some other members of the VC to show their eclecticism, show the variety and diversity of their collections. When I think of someone like Mike Vinyl Spiral, you know, he's the type of person who could, 1 second, he could be holding up some German industrial folk, and in the blink of an eye, he could be holding up some French yé noir album. And yeah, that's brilliant because there's so many different types of music out there and so much stuff to explore. If you want to have a go at this thread, I would love to watch and see what you can come up with. If you want to go for one of the big, you know, show the big genres, your pop, rock, country, folk, blues, jazz, dance, hip hop, that kind of thing, brilliant. If you want to delve deeper and start breaking out the crunkcore, the vaporwave, the dark wave, the whingecore, the Nintendo core, the witch house, or if you just want to show a little bit of pirate metal, you know, who doesn't love to mosh to a good sea shanty now and again? It's all good. Have a go if you feel like it. If you don't, c'est la vie. So the first genre I'm going to talk about is Chimarena from Rhodesia, the country that would become Zimbabwe. And this is from the early 70s, a band called the Hallelujah Chicken Run Band, and their compilation of singles, Take One. So this was a band that was formed in the early 70s. Really joyous, upbeat, good time music. And for good reason too, because the band have got a great backstory. These guys would become the forefathers of Chimarena. But they were formed, they were a manufactured band, and they were manufactured by the owners of a nickel mine in a small town called Mangura. And they were put together to entertain the miners, the guys who were going down the nickel mine each day. And they were a 5-piece made up of a saxophone, trumpet, the most upbeat, joyous sounding guitar you've ever heard. But this guy's kind of considered the forefather of Chimarena. His name is Thomas Matfumo. He was the guy that put the band together. He was a kind of lead musician. But yeah, really, really good. All the musicians that he brought together, they came from different places. They came from Malawi and Rhodesia, different African countries in the region. But yeah, the name as well was interesting how they got that. That came about because they were playing their gigs at night for the miners, but during the day they needed work during the day to kind of make ends meet, and they got work in a local chicken run, or a couple of the musicians got work in a local chicken run, and hence the name Hallelujah Chicken Run Band. So they managed to steal eggs from the chicken run and chickens, and they managed to feed themselves through that line of work as well. But yeah, this is really, really good. The guitar sound on here is absolutely fantastic. As soon as I heard it, you know, I was instantly hooked, to be honest. And when I heard it, I thought Ezra Koenig of Vampire Weekend was definitely listening to this when he put out that first Vampire Weekend album, because the guitar lines that run through it, yeah, they're just excellent. I'll just show you. Yeah, this is on Analog Africa, this label. It's such a well packaged, it's a well packaged record, a lovely label. You can see it's been really lovingly put together. The hype sticker's really cool, it says here. I played the first cut, and from the opening stuttering guitar notes, I was hooked. That was the editor of Global Rhythm magazine. This is the band that modernised Zimbabwean music, and by doing so revolutionised the music industry in their country. But I would agree with that editor from Global Rhythm magazine. I was the same. I listened to like 10 seconds of the first song and I was absolutely hooked on it. It was brilliant. You get great liner notes and photographs and information about the band. The music is tremendous. It's so upbeat, perfect for people who are down in the dumps, who need cheered up. If you're working down a nickel mine, this is the album for you. Next then, some ambient electronica with a folk twist. This is Ultramarine with their 1993 album United Kingdoms, and this is really your quintessential early example of folktronica, the genre folktronica. This is really, really good. It just kind of masterfully blends pastoral folk with more futuristic electronic wizardry. You know, on the one hand, you've got these analog instruments being used, like acoustic guitars and flutes, but then at the same time, you've got very subtle drum machines and kind of shimmering synthesizers. And yeah, it's that kind of meeting of the past and the future that make this such a great album. Like kind of real prog influence on here as well, kind of exemplified by the fact that Ultramarine asked Robert Wyatt, formerly of Soft Machine, to appear on this. Robert Wyatt sings a couple of songs on here. But yeah, I've really enjoyed listening to this album this year, and it's been a bit of a late discovery for me. So I picked this up in a collection at the start of the year down in Dundee, and I hadn't heard this album before, but it was kind of pointed out to me by James Griffiths, who had said that it was a great album, it was a good listen, and yeah, on my first listen, I kind of fell in love with it, and since then, it's probably, yeah, it wouldn't be far off being my most listened to album of the year. I'll just show you the inner gatefold. Some cool artwork. The label as well. Yeah, the kind of really catchy song on here that Robert Wyatt sings. I think he sings 2 tracks. He sings the song Happy Land. I think that's the one that samples Incredible String Band, one of the Incredible String Band songs from Wee Tam and the Big Huge. Yeah, it's a lovely kind of mixture of the old and the new, the traditional and the futuristic. And this wouldn't be my normal listen, I suppose, electronica or folktronica. But yeah, this is really, really good on the Blanco Y Negro label. So next, an album that's for the ghouls and the gals. If you're wanting pure sonic degeneracy, you can't go far wrong with the Cramps 1990 album, Stay Sick. What an album cover. I absolutely love this. They're absolute classic. This is not just rock and roll, it's the very definition of psychobilly. So you've got that mixture of rock and roll, you've got punk influence in there, and that rockabilly influence. Yeah, it's that primal energy that the Cramps bring that's just so good. I love this album, and I don't think this is probably considered one of the Cramps' best albums, but I think the reason why I enjoy it so much is because it was the first Cramps album that I heard. I was quite late to the party with the Cramps, and when I heard this, I just thought it was amazing. I don't know, they weren't what I thought they were going to be. Oh, there we go. But yeah, this is just brilliant. Just doused in B-movie horror. You've got Lux Interior's fantastic sneering vocals. You've got Poison Ivy's infectious guitar playing. She produces it as well. And yeah, it's just a kind of wild ride, full of twisted charm, infectious melodies, great, short, sharp blasts of psychobilly degeneracy. What I've said before, can't go wrong. The Cramps, Stay Sick. Next, we're delving into a real, true sonic and lyrical feast. This is MF Doom's Food from 2004. I think this is his masterpiece. Now, I'm not a massive fan of hip hop, but I think that lots of hip hop's terrible. However, I know what I like, and I like this. I love this. This is absolutely brilliant. And I think if you get it right with hip hop and you find the stuff that you like, you find the good stuff. There's absolutely amazing albums out there. So while this is hip hop, you could say that it's abstract hip hop or underground rap. It's all built around the concept of food. Yeah, with MF Doom's usual kind of laid back, kind of rap delivery, but with, he's always got something to say. As much as it seems simple, this concept about food, it has so many ideas packed into the songs. The samples are brilliant. There's loads of, I suppose, very obscure jazz samples in there. And he also samples heavily from movies and TV shows and superhero animated series. And that's the one that really, really grabs me on Beef Rap in the first song. And it took me ages to realise where it came from. It's a very, very distinct tune, and it's a tune that I knew really well. And after a while, I realised that it was from the 1980s Spider-Man series, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, from the episode, is it The Vengeance of Loki, which is not one of the better episodes, but the music in it's really cool, and it plays through the song Beef Rap. But yeah, this is such a great album. I love this, and I'd like to get more MF Doom. A lot of the other samples, he's kind of, what would you say, recycled his own music. So MF Doom, as well as his hip hop albums, he put out a number of instrumental albums under different names as well, and a lot of the music on here, he'd taken those instrumental tracks and put lyrics over the top of it. Yeah, this is excellent. All songs produced by Doom, the metal-fingered villain. Yeah, I love all that kind of comic book imagery that he uses, and his lyrics as well are just brilliant. We go, food. There's loads of great songs on here. It just flows together so well. There's the hype sticker. So yeah, love this. Would be one of my favourite hip hop albums. MF Doom. If I can get it back in. Oh, come on. With food. What says summer more than surf rock? Next up, we have the iconic 1966 soundtrack from the Sandals. It is The Endless Summer. Think shimmering tremolo guitars, driving drum beats, and a distinct lack of vocals. But who needs vocals when you've got melodies that kind of evoke that carefree, Californian, sun-drenched surf culture with crashing waves and endless horizons? Absolutely brilliant stuff. This is an Australian first press of this on the Festival label. Yeah, a nice copy of a real iconic album. If you like surf rock, I think this is a must have. There we go. I'm going to need to hurry this along because the Champions League's kicking off in an hour's time. So The Endless Summer by the Sandals. While I may be pushed for time, there's always time for a little bit of prog. And this is a modern masterclass, I suppose, in prog from 2013. This is Stephen Wilson's The Raven That Refused to Sing and Other Stories. Now, I'm not a massive prog fan, but I do like certain albums, and this is brilliant. This only has 6 songs on it, each of them an individual ghost story. But like I said, it's a real masterclass in progressive rock. It's so much more than that. Stephen Wilson masterfully blends in art rock, also blends in jazz fusion. The playing on here is phenomenal. The guitar playing is so grand and epic. There's like really lush mellotron on here. You know, that first song, Luminol, the bass in that, it's 12 minutes, 10 seconds, takes up all of side A, is, yeah, just absolutely brilliant. Each track tells a kind of dark, atmospheric story, creating this kind of cohesive and cinematic experience. I'm sure that this has been shown on the VC loads of times before. I'll just show you. That's the label. But yeah, a masterclass in modern prog. Steve Wilson himself said about it, said that as much as it's ghost stories that he's singing about, each of these ghost stories has a kind of unique tale to tell, and it's a very life-affirming album. I think he described it as a seize the day album. Almost like little, would you say they're morality tales? But yeah, great stuff. I love the artwork. I love how epic and grand it sounds. And like I said, the musicianship on here is second to none. Stephen Wilson's The Raven That Refused to Sing, and other stories. And finally, the album that is difficult to categorise. An album that's absolutely unique in every single way. A band from Australia, their masterpiece from 1988 is The Dead Can Dance with Serpent's Egg on 4AD. And yeah, is this dark wave? Is this ethereal wave? It's pretty much they invented their own genre. It's like a real rich tapestry of medieval music, these kind of haunting Gregorian chants. I don't really know what to make of it. When I first listened to it, I wasn't actually sure if I liked it or not. And then after another listen, I loved just how weird it was and how atmospheric it was. Like I said, how haunting it is. The host of Seraphim, that opening track, is, yeah, the amount of ideas that are just packed into that one song. Brendan Perry. Voices by Lisa Gerrard, Brendan Perry. Like, the vocals are just sound like nobody else at all. If you think of like 4AD releases, I'm having that kind of late 80s, 90s guitar sound. I suppose someone like Cocteau Twins have a very unique sound as well, but the music is more conventional. This is, like I said, with those medieval influences and especially the Gregorian chants, this is just like nothing at all that's been released before or since. It's timeless. You know, the vocals themselves, they almost transcend language. I don't have any idea what they're singing about. There's these unique gothic undertones to the music as well, which add a different texture. It's like nothing that you've heard before. Whether you like it or not, I don't know, but it doesn't really sound like anything else at all, I don't think. And that's Serpent's Egg by Dead Can't Dance. So there we go, 7 albums, 7 genres, one that I found difficult to classify. It's like a real mishmash of different influences. That Dead Can't Dance one, I suppose, a real mixture of different world music as much as anything. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed that. It was something different for my channel. Genres of music that I don't normally show. And if you fancy having a go yourself, please do. Whether it's just standard, 7 standard genres, or if you want to go deep, you want to get crazy, go for it. I'd love to see what you come up with. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, give it a like if you did. And until the next one, I'll see you later. I'm off to watch the football. I'm predicting a Paris Saint-Germain win, but never, ever, ever write off the Italians. Let's see.